Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside Pheno Field here in Milford, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call. We are here at Pheno for evening baseball. It is senior night for the Milford Scarlet Hawks and the Hopedale Blue Raiders, the annual senior night matchup here under the lights here at Pheno. Very happy to be bringing you the coverage here on Milford TV, streaming live on milfordtv.net and also via the live stream app. The Milford Scarlet Hawks coming into today's action at 4-13 overall on the season, coming off of a doubleheader here at Pheno Field yesterday. They ended up playing 2 against the Sharon Eagles after rain postponed a game that was supposed to be played in Sharon on Tuesday, so they ended up playing 2 here yesterday, and Milford and Sharon splitting that doubleheader. So Milford now, with those 4 victories on the season, 4-13 overall, taking on a Hopedale team in a very different position in their standings. They come in with a very good record of 11-4. And so Milford coming down to the end of a regular season that certainly had its ups and downs, a big growing season for this program as they brought new players into the fold, and now closing out their season with their final 3 games, 2 of them coming here at home, including this game here tonight. After tonight, they will be back in action on May 29th here at home for their final game at Pheno Field, taking on the King Philip Warriors, and then they close out the regular season on the road against the North Attleboro Rocketeers. So trying to grab a couple of victories here at the end of the season, looking for something to build on for these younger players as they get ready for the offseason and start to look ahead towards the 2019 season. And for the seniors on this roster, looking for a spark here to close out their high school careers. And we want to take a quick look at the roster now and acknowledge those seniors, many of which you'll find in the starting lineup for this game tonight, including Sam Naylor, Clayton Fahey, Matt Nickerson, Matt Antonio, Matt Swanson, and also Aiden Wild, the senior captain of this team, the 4-year veteran of this varsity roster, getting honored in that pregame ceremony, getting set to take the field here at Pheno for the second to last time in his high school colors. Of course, we expect Aiden Wild to be a factor once again on the Legion baseball team that will take the field here in Pheno coming up in just a few short weeks from now. And interesting to talk about Legion with these 2 teams on the field here tonight, as we expect that we should have several players from this Hopedale roster joining their Milford counterparts on that 2018 Legion roster. We, of course, do not know the official Legion roster quite yet, but we do expect to see players represented from both of these schools once Milford Post 59 takes the field in early June. But that is looking ahead tonight. It is senior night here at Pheno Field as the Scarlet Hawks now take the field, getting set to take on the Hopedale Blue Raiders of the Dual Valley Conference. Milford, of course, in the Davenport division of the Hockomock League, coming in tied for 4th place with the Canton Bulldogs into action here tonight. And Milford now about to commence with warm-up tosses. And while we have the opportunity, let's bring you the starting lineups for today's game. We will begin with the visitors. That is, of course, the Hopedale Blue Raiders. Leading it off is their shortstop, Chris Brunt, with the center fielder, Jack Biseglia, batting second. Jonathan Rice, the starting pitcher, bats third, with Sam Parker, the first baseman, batting cleanup. Alex Lucini, the catcher, bats fifth, with Colin Shagru, the left fielder, batting sixth. Charlie Swift plays right field and bats seventh, with Jimmy Casey, the designated hitter, batting eighth, and batting ninth, playing third base, is Sean Ryan. And for the Milford Scarlet Hawks, a senior-heavy starting lineup. It looks like this. Matt Shaver leads it off at short. Aiden Wild, the number 2 hitter, playing third base tonight. Tyler Almeida catches and bats third, with Matt Nickerson, the center fielder, batting fourth. Colby Pyers plays second base tonight and bats fifth, with Matt Swanson, the left fielder, batting sixth. Matt Antonio gets the start at DH, batting seventh, with Clayton Fahey, the first baseman, batting eighth. And in the ninth spot, playing right field, is Sam Naylor. And your starting pitching matchup in this game, we mentioned it on the Hopedale side. Jonathan Rice, he will toe the rubber in the bottom half of this inning, and right now, getting his warm-up tosses concluded on the mound for the Scarlet Hawks is the senior Andrew Fauerbach. Fauerbach, the lefty, we had a chance to see in action in our previous coverage of the Scarlet Hawks last week in a game against North Attleboro. Fauerbach pitched well in relief. Senior getting an opportunity to start this game here this evening, and now All set to go for baseball here at Fino Field. No need for the lights as of yet, as there is still plenty of sunshine streaking in, coming in from right field. So we'll get this game underway just a few minutes prior to 7 o'clock in the evening. Again, Tim Coet, happy to be here with you on this senior night for both Milford and Hopedale. As the leadoff batter for the Blue Raiders, Chris Brunt, steps in on the right side to face the lefty starter, Andrew Fauerbach. The plate umpire giving the signal. Time to get baseball started. Fauerbach into his windup, and the first pitch of the game is in for a called strike one. This is the second matchup of the regular season between Milford and Hopedale. The first game was very closely played, as Fauerbach misses outside with the pitch to even the count. It ended up being a 2-1 final score. Hopedale eking out the wins, holding off a Milford rally in the 7th inning. Game that took place back on April the 21st. A big swing and a miss from Brunt, and that brings the count to 1-2. Give you more details on that previous matchup as we go along. The 1-2 pitch from Fauerbach, that misses down and in. Walked out in front by the starting catcher, Tyler Almeida. Good crowd on hand here to take in the senior night game. This is always a well-attended baseball matchup. 2-2 pitch is grounded foul down the third base line. Of course, not a long drive for the fans of either of these two teams. Tough at bat here to lead off the ball game for the shortstop, Chris Brunt. Pinwheels the bat, still with a count of 2-2. As Fauerbach kicks and deals, and once again the ball is sent foul down the third base line, just out of the reach of Hopedale's third base coach. Head coach for Hopedale is Josh Crescenzi. Of course, Alex Dion continuing to man the ship here in Milford for his first season as head coach. This one sent far and foul down the left field line. That just making its way into the tree line. The bat continues. Still a 2-ball, 2-strike count. And the next pitch, that misses up and away. So now a full count. Fauerbach ready with the payoff pitch. And that is down and in for ball 4. So a very tough at bat put on by Chris Brunt, and he's rewarded with the leadoff walk. It was quite an entertaining ball game when these two teams took the field here at Fino for senior night last year. A game that for about 5.5 innings was a very close pitcher's duel, with plenty of intensity on both sides. Hopedale actually took a 3-1 lead into the bottom of the 6th inning. But Milford was able to find the answer at the plate in that bottom of the 6th inning, and boy did they ever. They erupted for 11 runs to turn a deficit into a 12-3 victory. A ball hit slowly to the left side. It got past Fauerbach, but Matt Shaver able to back it up to send the throw to first base in time to get the out there. On the play, Brunt is able to advance to second base with now 1 down. And that now brings up the Hopedale starting pitcher, Jonathan Rice. Rice very used to the playing conditions here at Fino Field, as he was a member of that Milford Legion baseball team in 2017. Takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Jonathan Rice, who returned to the Hopedale team last year after Tommy John surgery, also had some injury issues during the Legion season that somewhat limited his availability, but when he was out there, he was very effective. Now hits a ground ball towards second base, waiting for it as Pyers. His throw to first base. That like that pulled Clayton Fahey off the bag. So Rice able to reach. Pyers getting a start at second base today. We've seen him at third base in each of the previous games we've covered here on Milford TV, so getting adjusted to a different position. Had to go to his right on the backhand to field that ball, and then the throw ended up pulling Fahey off the bag, so Rice reaches. Brunt advances to third. Runners at the corners with one down now for Sam Parker, who takes a fastball inside for ball one. And immediately we see a mound visit here. Again, as we mentioned, Fauerbach has been used more in relief this season. As we take a quick look at some of the stats on the season for the lefty. This is his 5th appearance of the season. He has no record. Comes into tonight with just 5 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 4 earned runs on 6 hits with a walk and a strikeout, of 5.25 ERA. Brief conversation with his head coach. He ends up delivering a strike into Parker. Sam Parker batting .513 on the season. As you would imagine, given those run scoring numbers I mentioned earlier, plenty of strong bats in this lineup, and meanwhile a very strong defensive play over around the second base bag as Milford ends up getting the double play. That ball took a very tricky hop on Pyers, but he was able to recover, getting the out at second before the relay throw to first completed the inning-ending double play. So Milford ends up getting out of the jam without any run scoring. And so we will head now to the bottom half of the first inning. The Milford Scarlet Hawks will take their first swings of the game when we come back next here on Milford TV. Scoreless here at Pheno Field, entering the bottom of the first inning. Top 3 batters in the Milford lineup about to take on the Hopedale starting pitcher, Jonathan Rice, again a Milford Legion alum. And just to look back at the accomplishments of Jonathan Rice in his first year with Post 59, he ended up pitching 20 2/3 innings, had a 3-0 record and a 2.37 ERA. So very good as part of the Post 59 starting rotation. He's had a very good season so far for Hopedale as their ace, and deals in a fastball for a called strike one against Matt Shaver. As a matter of fact, taking a look at the current stats for Jonathan Rice, he has thrown 30 innings so far in this high school regular season, and now delivers an 0-1 pitch into Shaver that he sends through the hole on the right side of the infield. A leadoff single for Shaver. Well-placed opposite field ground ball base hit for Shaver. He's aboard at first base ahead of Aiden Wild, just to finish those numbers quickly for Rice. 30 innings pitched. He's a 3-1 record and a 1.86 ERA, and did claim the victory against Milford when these two teams met in Hopedale back in April. It's starting to feel a little bit like April as we continue on into this ball game. A stiff breeze blowing in from center field, bringing some crisp weather conditions on fans huddled under blankets and sweatshirts as this game gets going. Aiden Wild at the plate, a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Shaver, after the leadoff single, takes a lead off of first. Rice's pitch. That went in for a strike. It ended up in the dirt, blocked by the catcher, but ruled strike 2. Aiden Wild not saying a word, but looking back a couple of times at the umpire, a little more outspoken in the third base coach's box for Alex Dion. The ball did bounce, but ruled a strike, and the count goes to 1-2. Pickoff check over at first base, and a good move for Rice, the lefty. Shaver dives back into the bag. 1-2 pitch into Wild, misses up and away. Still very good numbers overall on the season for Wild, a .477 batting average, 21 hits and 44 at-bats. He's hit 5 doubles. He's driven in 7. He's also walked 10 times on the season. Runner takes off from first as the pitch is hit hard past the third baseman, out into left field. A wide turn at second base for Shaver, but he'll hold there. And it's back-to-back base hits for the Scarlet Hawks to open up this bottom of the first inning. So 2 on with nobody out. A rally in the making here in the first inning for Milford as Tyler Almeida steps in. Lefty versus lefty now the matchup. Shortstop trying to keep Shaver close to the second base bag. As that pitch misses a little bit outside for ball 1. Almeida at .205 with the batting average coming into today. That takes a pitch in on the hands a bit, but ruled a strike. As Milford batters trying to get a handle for the strike zone here in the first. Now this ball fought off foul up over the backstop. It's landing just off to our left next to the press box. Again, Rice able to get ahead in the count. Milford's been doing some good 2-strike hitting so far. Almeida able to spoil another pitch foul. Aiden Wild, who's at first base, Tyler Almeida at the plate, and Jonathan Rice, all teammates on that 2017 Legion team. Seeming likely that they will all be teammates once again. As Rice now steps off, and Milford dugout trying to find some energy here in the first inning as they see 2 on with nobody out, but here a strikeout as Almeida was way out in front, fooled on the pitch. The first strikeout for Rice. 1 down now for Matt Nickerson. And this has been an all too familiar storyline for Scarlet Hawks fans throughout this season. No problem getting runners on base. Trying to get them in has been the problem that has plagued this entire season. Milford with 59 total runs scored through 17 games. Here a ground ball that gets past the dive of the shortstop out into shallow left, racing around third base is Shaver. He will cross the plate. And so a run-producing hit here in the first inning for the Scarlet Hawks as Nickerson drives in the first run of the game. And the Scarlet Hawks will take a 1-0 lead. The third hit of this first inning for Milford. All of them ground balls on the infield, but finding the holes in the Hopedale defense. That one just barely getting past the dive of Chris Brunt. Had he knocked it down, it likely would have saved the run, at least for the time being, but it ended up trickling out into left, and that allowed Shaver to come around from second base to score. Wild advances to second base, so it's once again first and second, still 1 out, and a no-ball, 1-strike count on Colby Pyers. Runner takes off for third. Good throw down to third base, and the runner is out. Nickerson ended up taking off a few steps behind Wild. He gets into second base safely, but Wild thrown out trying to steal third. And a big second out of this inning. The out on the bases, not what you want. But the potential rally in the making, now an opportunity for Rice to get out of the inning. If he can take care of Pyers at the dish, the count now 2-1. And now a trickler, that one is foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and Nickerson, the lone runner at second base, a run home in this inning for Milford. Foul ball hit hard off to the right. Hopedale fans congregating in the stands to the left of the first base dugout, the Milford student section to the right of the third base dugout. A lot of other fans sprinkled in between. The next pitch in gets past the glove of Lucini behind the plate, and on to third base goes Nickerson. So the caught stealing now really looms large. Milford could be looking at second and third with 1 out right now. Instead, Nickerson now at third with 2 outs and a full count on Pyers. Long look in for Rice, now ready with the pitch, and that misses outside, not close. First and third now for Matt Swanson, getting the start in left field tonight. One of 6 seniors in the starting lineup. And so now they bring Colby Pyers back up to the plate. Now takes a swing, sends a ground ball to shortstop. It's bobbled. Pyers hustling down the line, but the throw is going to beat him. So your guess is as good as mine as to what happened right there, as it seemed like Pyers had worked the walk. But ends up getting called back to the dish and then sends a ground ball to shortstop that ends the inning. So a bizarre turn that eventually brings an end to the first inning. Milford does get a run on the RBI single by Matt Nickerson. And after 1 full inning of play, it's the Scarlet Hawks with a 1-0 lead on Hopedale here on coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics on Milford TV. Milford ends up getting a run on 3 hits in their half of the first inning. Still unclear as to what happened there with Colby Pyers with 2 outs in the inning. Appeared to work a walk, and then after making the full trot down to first base, was eventually pulled back. Saw another pitch and ended up grounding out to shortstop. So Hopedale back up there with batters 5, 6, and 7 due up against Andrew Fauerbach. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. The leadoff batter, Alex Lucini, the Hopedale catcher. Takes a pitch down and away. Hopedale getting 2 runners on in the first inning on a walk and an error, but they were unable to score. A double play ball ended the inning. Swing and a miss for Lucini. Against the count at 2. Fauerbach. Next pitch, and it is swung on and missed for strike 3. Changing speeds. Getting the strikeout, his first of the game. Leadoff batter retired, and now Colin Chagru stands in on the right side. Chagru gets spun off the plate. Pitch that misses up and in. Wind has calmed down for the moment. You can see the American flag out in left center field. For the most part hanging motionless. Lights starting to come on here at Pheno as we reach 7:20 in the evening. And a 2-0 pitch into Chagru. That misses up and away, and some command issues in this at bat. Fauerbach falling behind. 3-0 pitch in for a strike. Not looking to swing on the 3-0 count. Next Next one on the way from Fauerback is swung on and missed. So from a 3-0 count, it now runs full. And the pitch hit in the air out to center field. Nickerson settling underneath makes the catch. And it's 2 up and 2 down. Defensively for Milford, it is Tyler Almeida behind the plate. Aiden Wild at third, Matt Shaver at short, Colby Pyers at second, and Clayton Fahey at first. Left to right in the outfield, Matt Swanson, Matt Nickerson, and Sam Naylor. Charlie Swift, the batter at the plate, fouls one away for strike one. Charlie Swift on the season, batting .214. He has 9 hits and 42 at bats, a couple of doubles. So that's 9 runs batted in. Now a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And hits one slowly on the ground, waiting for it is the shortstop Shaver. He sends a good throw to first base, and that finishes off a very good 1-2-3 inning here in the second for Andrew Fauerback. On to the home half of the inning we go. It's still a 1-0 Scarlet Hawks lead here on Milford TV. Bottom of the second, Matt Swanson now officially taking his first at bat of the game. Did not ultimately come to the plate in the first inning after that bizarre mix-up with Colby Pyers. Swanson starting off ahead in the count against Jonathan Rice. Takes a strike at the knees, a tough pitch. Lefty Rice, the next pitch, a fastball misses outside. Swing and a miss. Swanson appearing in his 13th game this season. Is batting .400 on the year, 10 hits and 25 at bats. A couple of runs batted in, 2 doubles. Takes a pitch down in the dirt, and we see another full count. So Milford is making Rice work. Payoff pitch, and sent high in the air, foul off to the right. That will end up over in the visitors' bullpen area, and it stays a 3-2 count. Aside from the fans that are filling up a good portion of the bleachers all the way around home plate and down the left and right field lines, also a large group of fans down the right field line and in the pavilion area in front of the concession stand. Well-attended ball game as Swanson strikes out for the first out of inning number 2. That's 2 Ks now for Rice. Now Matt Antonio at the plate, serving as the designated hitter this evening. Big cut. Up empty for strike one. And Antonio, this is just his 4th game in which he's appeared in this season. He has just 2 at-bats on the year. 1 hit in those 2 at-bats, and it did drive in a run. Down in the count here, 0-2. And the next pitch is in for strike 3, a very quick at-bat. Back-to-back Ks for Rice. 2 outs and the base is empty. We'll see an at-bat for Clayton Fahey. Swing and a miss for Fahey, making an appearance in the starting lineup here tonight. Fahey will also make an appearance as part of our recap of Celebrate Milford, which will air on the Milford Informer tomorrow night at 7:30 on Milford TV. An entertaining recap of last weekend's events. Milford TV member Malcolm Zale serving as our roving reporter for that story. The 0-2 pitch is waved at and missed for strike 3, so a very different looking inning. Dominance out of Jonathan Rice as he strikes out the side in order. 2 innings in the books now from Pheno Field. It is a 1-0 lead for Milford over Hopedale on our coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics on Milford TV. Batters 8, 9, and 1 coming to the plate for Hopedale. Ball rifled to the backstop off the bat of DH Jimmy Casey. Casey followed by Sean Ryan, and back up to the top spot, Chris Brunt. It's Andrew Fauerbach, who will now jump ahead in the count, 0-2. Casey batting .240 on the year. To see an 0-2 pitch from the lefty, and it's popped up. Will it stay on the field? Almeida goes as far as he can, but that went off just to the left of the bleachers in which the Milford student section have set up shop. So still an 0-2 count. The next pitch from Fauerbach is now lifted in the air out to center field. In comes Nickerson. Out goes the shortstop, and it's Shaver who just barely keeps that one in the glove for out number 1. Shaver's stellar defense continues throughout this season. We've talked about it quite a bit in our last few broadcasts of this baseball team, but it bears repeating. We've seen some outstanding glove work at short all season long by Shaver. Now a pop-up out into shallow right field. Naylor there, but it is the second baseman Pyers who races out to make the play. So shortstop Shaver, and now the second baseman Pyers showing off their athletic ability. Making catches on the outfield grass, and it's 2 up and 2 down. As now we go second time through the Hopedale lineup. Chris Brunt, one of just 2 base runners against Fauerbach so far in the game. He walked to lead off the first. Swings at the first pitch, hits it to shortstop. It eats up Shaver, just a very tricky bounce. It initially looked like that one was going to get to Shaver on a line. It ended up dying right at the last second. The bounce just in front of the glove of Shaver and ricocheted out into shallow left center. So that will go as a base hit, no doubt, for Brunt. Not much Shaver could do there. First Hopedale hit keeps this 3rd inning alive for Jack Biseglia. Stings one down the third base line, foul. Biseglia grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Overall on the season, batting .432. 13 runs scored on the year. Now with a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Fauerbach to the set. Pitch grounded foul, now this time to the right side. It's a 1-2 count. Fauerbach 1 strike away from ending the inning. The lead off of first base for Brunt. Doesn't go as the pitch misses high. Couldn't get Biseglia to chase. The count now 2-2. Jonathan Rice waiting on deck as the pitch is now hit in the air out to right field. Naylor underneath. He makes the catch. And that will retire the side. 2-out hit does not do any damage for the Blue Raiders. We've played 2.5 innings now from Pheno Field. It is still 1-0 in favor of the Scarlet Hawks here on coverage of Milford High School baseball on Milford TV. Naylor, Shaver, and Wild, the 3 batters coming to the plate in the home half of the third. Naylor swinging away at the first pitch, sending it foul. Jonathan Rice allowing 3 hits and a run in the first inning. In the second inning, ended up setting down the side in order, all by way of the K. Sends a fastball off the outside edge to even the count against the right fielder, Sam Naylor. Swing and a miss. Naylor looking for his first hit of the season. Only 2 at-bats on the year. He's played quite a bit. Earlier in the season, we saw him flexed out of the lineup, only playing defensively. He's had an opportunity to pick up a few at-bats here in the later stages of the season. Trying to hang in there now with the count at 2-2. Wind up and the pitch. A swing and a miss. Held on to by the catcher. And that is 4 consecutive strikeouts now for Rice. He looks to be fully settled in now after that rocky first inning. He'll now have to go second time through the Milford order. It was these top 4 hitters that gave Rice difficulty in the first inning. Shaver getting that first inning rally started with a single. Milford really going with the pitch in those at-bats in the first inning. Shaver with an opposite field single. Wild and Nickerson with a couple of well-placed ground balls. Shaver now with a fly ball and foul ground off the right field side on the warning track. First baseman able to make the catch. Good rangy play for Sam Parker. Two outs now and the base is empty as Aiden Wild will take his second at bat. He singled in the first but was thrown out trying to steal third. A play that sort of took the wind out of the sails of the Milford rally. Very rare to see Wild not contribute in a positive way on the field. He's such a smart player. There's a 1-0 pitch. It's down and in and handcuffing the catcher a bit. And I'm going to say that one grazed Wild on the way by. Wild not really reacting. He wanted to continue the at-bat, but the umpire sending him down to first base on the hit by pitch. Gives Milford a little life in the inning. Before Tyler Almeida sees the first pitch of his at-bat. Rice will check in on Wild at first. Wild has 10 stolen bases on the season. Tried unsuccessfully for number 11 back in the first. We'll see if he has a chance to be on the move here. It's a 1-0 count to Almeida. Now fastball misses a little bit inside. Rice very tough on left-handed hitters. Almeida gets into this one, driving it down the left field line, but that twists off into foul territory. contact from Almeida, but he couldn't keep it between the lines, and now the count will even at 2-2. Wild again steps out to a lead. As the pitch misses inside. Now 3 balls on the hitter. Nickerson on deck, hoping for a chance. Wild goes as the pitch is hit on the ground through the vacated hole at shortstop. A wide turn for Wild, but he will hold at second base, and Milford ends up executing a perfect hit and run. Wild taking off with the pitch. It drew the shortstop Chris Brunt towards the second base bag. And Tyler Almeida with a wide open hole on the left side sent that ground ball right through for a single. So Milford now with runners at first and second base ahead of Matt Nickerson, who drove in the Milford run with an RBI single back in the first. Takes an off-speed pitch away for ball 1. No pitch missing low. Lead at second for Wild. Lead at first base for Almeida. As the pitch is foul tipped into the catcher's mitt, bringing the count to 2-1. Nickerson overall on the season batting .279. Sends one foul to the backstop. That evens the count at 2, so now Rice a strike away from getting out of the inning. Here is the 2-2 pitch. That misses down and in. Bounces away from the catcher. The runners will advance. Nickerson making the case that that ball hit him in the foot before it hit the ground. Coach Dion now in to make the same argument, and now the 2 umpires will confer. And the infield umpire now calling Coach Dion in to be part of the conversation. It'll either be bases loaded for Colby Pyers or second and third and a 3-2 count on Nickerson. And judging by the body language between Coach Dion and the umpiring crew, it appears that Nickerson will stay at the dish. See some frustration now from Coach Dion. A few last words, and now he'll return to the third base coach's box. So it will be a 3-ball, 2-strike count on Nickerson. That going as a wild pitch that allows the runners to move up, so 2 in scoring position. Good chance for Milford to tack on to the lead. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's a line drive. That is out into right center field for a base hit. Both runs will come around to score as Wild and Almeida touch home plate. The throw into second base gets away. A 2-run single for Matt Nickerson, and that ups the Milford lead to 3-0. So in the end, it works out in Milford's favor as Nickerson stays at the plate. And in the end, they may award the double, as that throw did come into second base. So Nickerson with a 2-run double with 2 outs in the inning to up the Milford lead. A chance now for Pyers with a runner in scoring position. He sends a cue shot foul over towards the fans lining the right field side. And it's a quick 0-2 count on Colby, who grounded out to shortstop in his first at bat. And now a swing and a miss. The pitch down in the dirt. The catcher sending the throw down to first base to complete the strikeout that ends the inning. It goes as the 5th K for Jonathan Rice, but meanwhile the hit by pitch ends up getting a 2-out rally started. Hits for Almeida, and then Nickerson driving in 2 runs to give Milford now a 3-0 advantage over Hopedale on this coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. The Scarlet Hawks now with a 3-0 lead as we begin inning number 4. Fauerbach against his counterpart, Jonathan Rice, who swings at the first pitch and pops it up out into shallow left field. The wind playing tricks with that one a bit. As Shaver went out, Swanson came in, and it is Matt Swanson who ends up making the catch. So Andrew Fauerbach needs just 1 pitch to grab the first out here in the 4th inning. Now brings up Sam Parker. Parker sent a very hard shot to second base in his first at bat with runners at the corners and only 1 out. Took a tricky hop, but Pyers was able to play it. Getting the out at second before sending the throw to first base to complete an inning-ending double play. It's Hopedale's best scoring chance to this point in the game. Parker, meanwhile, in the driver's seat in this at-bat, up 3-0. Next pitch from Fauerbach. Drops in for a called strike. Looked to be a curveball on the 3-0 count. Misses for ball 4, does not miss by much. It's the 2nd walk allowed by Fauerbach in the game. On with 1 out for Alex Lucchini, excuse me. He sends one on the ground towards first base. It eats up Fahey and will roll into deep foul territory down the right field line. The runners hustling around. Parker will stop at third base as Lucchini winds up at second. What could have possibly been a 3-6-3 double play, or at worst, an out at first base turns into disaster for Milford. The error by Fahey puts 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. Hopedale in business. Immediately their dugout springs to life as now this ball is hit on the ground to third base with the infield in. Aiden Wild ends up getting the out at first base. He's playing in tight on the grass at third. It forced the runners to hold up. As Colin Chagru ends up out on the 5-3 grounder. Quickly now there are 2 gone. Leaves the inning up to Charlie Swift, who is 0 for 1 today. Swift swings at the first pitch, hits it foul wide of third base. Hopedale with the tying run at the plate. They trail Milford 3-0. Long look in that time for Fauerbach. Now sets. The pitch is on the inside edge for a called strike. Swift was backing away. Strike called, and now the count 0-2. Hopedale runners at second and third. The 0-2 pitch. That misses just outside. The Milford fans wanted it. Swift wise to lay off the pitch. Just missing outside. Now a 1-2 count. The next one hit on the ground to shortstop. Waiting for it is Shaver. Throws to first. And gets the out to end the inning. Fowlerback able to pitch out of the jam. A walk and an error. Had trouble brewing for the Scarlet Hawks, but Fowlerback pitches out of it. It is still a 3-0 Scarlet Hawks lead as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning next here on Milford TV. Last bits of sunlight fading off into the distance as we come up on 8 o'clock in the evening here in Milford. Bottom of the 4th inning getting started here at Fino Field. First pitch strike tossed into Matt Swanson. Swanson struck out in his first trip to the plate against Jonathan Rice. Now takes a pitch low. Milford with a 3-0 lead. Swanson able to get a piece of that offering from Rice, sending it foul right over to the Fino Field concession stand. Nothing in 2 on the left fielder Swanson. Here's the next pitch. Misses. A lot of home games taking place for Milford spring teams today. Swanson swings and misses, down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. And a strikeout number 7 for Rice. We shortchanged him McKay when we gave his total at the end of the 3rd inning. It's now 7 strikeouts in all. Milford softball team in action at home against Franklin earlier this afternoon. The Milford boys volleyball team, as we speak, taking on Taunton High School in their senior night game. We do have a crew covering that game. No live streaming coverage there, but we will have that game up on the educational channel and on YouTube within the next few days. Rob O'Keefe and Anthony Mazzini on the coverage of that game. Happy to once again have Milford High School alumni Anthony Mazzini back from Syracuse to help us out here at the end of the spring season. 1-1 pitch into Matt Antonio is swung on and missed. Rice right back into his windup. And the 1-2 pitch bounces. We'll look to get a final score on that softball game against Franklin if we can. Meanwhile, a 2-2 pitch to Antonio. That is in for a called strike 3. Antonio caught looking. This bottom part of the lineup has not had any success against Rice so far. It's really been the first 4 batters of the game that have been the difference. Top 4 batters in the lineup right now are 5 for 7 against Rice in the game. Batters 5 through 9 are 0 for 8 with 7 strikeouts. So it has been a tale of 2 halves of the lineup. Called strike now into Clayton Fahey brings the count to 1-2. A strikeout victim back in the 2nd. The next pitch from Rice. That one misses to even the count. Bases are empty with 2 down. Now the 2-2 pitch. That misses. A full count now to Fahey, looking to extend the inning. Here's the pitch, and it is swung on and missed. It's the 2nd inning tonight that Rice has struck out the side. He has 9 Ks, but Milford has managed to get it done. We'll have an update on that Milford softball final score when we come back after this. In the meantime, here at Fino Field, it is still a 3-0 Scarlet Hawks lead over Hopedale here on Milford TV. We've seen good pitching on both sides of this game so far tonight. Milford with the 3-0 lead as Andrew Fauerbach is out for his 5th inning of work, getting the start on the senior night, and he has risen to the occasion. So far, 4 scoreless innings. He's allowed just 1 hit, 2 walks. He has a strikeout. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count now to the number 8 hitter, Jimmy Casey, who is 0 for 1. And now the pitch missing a little bit low and outside. And again, the windup and the pitch. This ball hit on a line out to right field, but it hangs up long enough for Sam Naylor to come in to make the play. First glance, it looked like that one may drop, but Naylor had a good read, makes the catch. And Casey's retired for out number 1. And now Sean Ryan popped out to second base his first time up, swings at the first pitch and hits it on a big bounce to the pitcher's mound. An athletic play for Fauerbach, who lunges for it, makes the grab, and makes a good throw to first base, and Fauerbach is feeling it in this game tonight. Excellent pitching, and now a terrific defensive play to complete the 1-3 ground out, and it's 2 up and 2 down in the 5th. Third at bat of the game coming up for Chris Brunt. Third plate appearance, I should say. A walk in the first inning, a single in the third, so batting 1 for 1. We did promise that softball update. We'll bring it to you after this next pitch. Drops in for a strike. Another day, another Mercy Rule victory for the Lady Hawks softball team as they defeated the Franklin Lady Panthers earlier this afternoon by a final score of 12-0. Now a tapper foul. So the Lady Hawks now 18-0 on the season. They have just 2 games remaining on their regular season, but those 2 games will come against top-notch playoff caliber competition. They will travel on the road early next week to King Philip to take on the Lady Warriors before returning home on May 31st with their second matchup of the season against North Attleboro. If they hope to go undefeated on the regular season, they will have to beat 2 teams that will also be making an appearance in the D1 South bracket of the MIAA tournament. As we come back to live action here at Fino Field, a chance for a 1-2-3 inning for Andrew Fauerbach. Nearly had the strikeout of Brunt. That pitch ruled just outside. The count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fauerbach working quickly. Here's the pitch. And it misses inside this time. Brunt has been the most difficult batter in this Hopedale lineup for Andrew Fauerbach tonight. Here's the payoff pitch, and that is low for ball 4. It's the second walk of the game for Brunt. He's been on base all 3 times now he's come to the plate. That now gives Jack Basiglia a chance to bat. Basiglia 0 for 2, a ground out and a pop out. Big secondary lead for Brunt as the pitch is popped up towards first base. Fahey settles underneath and makes the catch for the out. That retires the side. Another scoreless inning of work for Andrew Fauerbach. 5 scoreless innings now in the outing for the starting pitcher. For the Scarlet Hawks, a 3-0 Milford lead. We'll travel on to the bottom half of the 5th inning when we return next on this coverage of Milford High School baseball on Milford TV. Sam Naylor to lead off the home half of the 5th against Rice. Quickly swings at the first pitch, hits it slowly to third base. On the move, Sean Ryan is able to field and throw to first base to beat Naylor by a running step. That pitch running in on the hands of Naylor. He was able to fight it out towards third base. But a good play for Ryan as he put a charge on it. Threw off balance and accurately to first base to get the out. So 1 up, 1 down in the 5th. And now Matt Shaver at the plate. Is 1 for 1, or 1 for 2, excuse me. A hit back in the 1st inning, came around to score and fouled out to the first baseman in the 3rd inning. Takes a pitch very high. Count now 1-1. Shaver trying to get on ahead of Aiden Wild. Coming into the game, Matt Shaver hitting at 352. 352 on the year. It's been a good season all the way around for Shaver. It's 19 hits. He can make it 20 with the hit in the 1st inning tonight. 7 runs batted in. Ahead in the count, 3-1. Swings away at this pitch and pops it up on the infield, again in foul ground for the first baseman. Sam Parker making the catch for the 2nd straight at bat. Shaver ends up fouling out. Wild will now come to the plate with 2 outs and the base is empty. Wild has been on base twice, a single in the 1st. He was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning, which ended up sparking a rally. After Rice had retired the first 2 batters, he hit Wild and allowed a single to Tyler Almeida. And then on a 3-2 pitch, Matt Nickerson drove both runners in with a double. Here's a 1-0 pitch. That misses outside. Rice with an opportunity to pitch conservatively to Aiden Wild. With nobody on and 2 outs. Again, Rice misses outside. Now 3-0 the count to Wild. Wild has already walked 10 times overall this season. Takes all the way, takes a pitch at the bottom of the strike zone to bring the count to 3-1. Two outs deep in the bottom of the 5th. 3-1 pitch is taken for a strike. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch from Rice, misses for ball 4. It's the 2nd walk in the game for Rice. I beg your pardon, it is just the 1st walk for Rice. For a moment, he had appeared to walk Colby Pyers back in the 1st inning, but Pyers, in a move that we still have not gotten an explanation for up in the press box, ended up getting pulled back to the batter's box and ended up grounding out to end the inning. So that walk to Wild was just the 1st for Rice in the game. Ball sent hard and foul over the backstop for strike 1 to Tyler Almeida. It's been a fun environment here at Pheno Field, one of the largest crowds we've seen here at Pheno in quite some time, even rivaling a lot of the Legion crowds during the summer. So the fans showing up very well as the pickoff move was on at first base. Wild taking off, and he ends up getting down to second base safely. So Wild was going on first move. It ended up being a pickoff play at first base, but Wild just kept on hustling down the line and was able to get into second base. So he was able to get the steal after being caught stealing back in the first. Now in scoring position with an 0-1 count on Almeida. The pitch missing up and away. Chance now for Almeida to tack on some insurance. And has to duck out of the way of that high and tight fastball. Rice with very good velocity, but every now and then does not quite know where it's going. And now Almeida with a towering pop-up, again in foul ground for Parker. He makes the catch. A couple of foul outs in the inning for the Scarlet Hawks, and in the end they strand that runner in scoring position at second base. We are through 5 full innings now from Pheno Field. The score remains Milford 3 and Hopedale nothing here on this coverage of Milford High School baseball on Milford TV. The heart of the Hopedale order coming to the plate in the top half of the 6th inning. Andrew Fauerbach still out there. Jonathan Rice swinging at the first pitch, hits it on the ground to second base. A play made by Pyers and a good throw to first base. It's the second time tonight that Rice has been retired on just one pitch. He's gone 0 for 3. Did reach on an error back in the first inning, but out on the 4-3 ground out to lead off this 6th inning. Milford with 3 runs on 5 hits with 1 error in the game. Hopedale no runs, just 1 hit. And no errors for the Blue Raiders. Sam Parker now at the dish. He did work a walk his last time up. One of 3 Hopedale walks in the game. Now hits one hard and fair down the first base line. A turn at first base for Parker, but he will remain there. The hardest hit ball of the game against Andrew Fauerbach, as Parker grounds it inside that first base line for a 1-out single, and now Coach Dion out of the dugout. Milford does have some activity warming up in their bullpen. But right now it appears to be just a conversation between the head coach and his starting pitcher, who has turned in a superb outing so far tonight. Nick Marcolini is warming up in the bullpen for the Scarlet Hawks. But Coach Dion will stick with his starter for now. Chance to face the lefty, Alex Lucini. Lucini reached on an error by Clayton Fahey his last time up. Officially 0 for 2. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Parker with a big secondary lead over at first base. Jumps right back out to a lead. As the breaking ball misses. Another pitch the Milford fans wanted. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. And that pitch misses well outside. Fauerbach taking his time. Now delivers to the plate. And that one is sent foul right off the end of the bat of Lucini. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the Milford head coach scoops up that loose ball in front of the backstop. Fauerbach back to the set. And the pitch. Another tapper sent foul. Lucini just barely making contact. He was a strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning. It's the only strikeout for Fauerbach tonight. Now another 2-2 pitch, and this one is sent out to left field. Could be trouble. It's down for a hit. Played on a bounce by Swanson. And a good job by Swanson getting there. Sending a quick throw back in. It holds Parker at second base. But back-to-back singles now for the Blue Raiders. We'll see if Marcolini starts to warm up with more of a sense of urgency. Fauerbach faltering here for just the first time in the game. He had been in control through the first 5. Foul strike one into Colin Chagru, the Hopedale left fielder. Has flown out to center field and grounded out to third base. And now sends one foul off towards the third base dugout. And Fauerbach ahead in the count, 0-2. He would certainly take his 2nd strikeout of the game right here. Surveys the base runners. And now comes to the plate and freezes Chagru with a pitch on the outside part of the plate for a called strike 3. So there it is, the 2nd K for Fauerbach. 2 down in the inning now, leaving it up to Charlie Swift. Swift has done the same thing twice tonight. That has ground out to Matt Shaver at shortstop. As now the infield umpire is going to call a balk on Andrew Fauerbach. And a huge call, as that's now going to allow both runners to advance. And now the pitch runs in, and that is going to hit Swift. So Fauerbach maybe a little bit rattled after the balk call and ends up hitting the batter. And so now a crucial point in the game as the tying runs are on. Jimmy Casey now coming to the plate representing the go-ahead run. A 2-out bases loaded opportunity for the Blue Raiders. A few quick words exchanged between Fauerbach and his battery mate Tyler Almeida. Casey is 0 for 2, batting out of the number 8 spot. Swings at the first pitch and pops it foul out of play. The lefty batter facing the lefty starter Fauerbach with the bases loaded. Parker at third, Lucini at second, Swift at first. Now an 0-1 pitch, and it's popped up. Playable on the left side of the infield. It's the third baseman Wild who takes charge, makes the catch for the out that ends the inning, and Fauerbach is able to pitch his way out of the jam. Hopedale leaves the bases loaded in the top of the 6th inning. We play on with the score Milford 3 and Hopedale 0 here on coverage of Milford High School baseball on Milford TV. Bottom of the 6th inning now, Matt Nickerson swinging away at the first pitch, sending it foul past the third base dugout. Taking that swing against a new Hopedale pitcher. Jonathan Rice out of the game after 5 innings, replaced by Chris Brunt, who comes in from shortstop. And Nickerson now sends a hard ground ball to third base, fielded by Sean Ryan. He gets the out over at first. series of corresponding moves. Defensively for Hopedale, will try to get to them all. In the meantime, with one out in the inning, Colby Pyers takes a pitch low. We can tell you that Will Parker, who was flexed out of the lineup only playing defensively at second base, is now shifted to shortstop, with Brunt taking over on the mound. Colin Shagru comes in from left field to take over at second. Jonathan Rice stays in the game now in center field. I believe Jack Basiglia has shifted over to left field. As Pyers takes a strike. Count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Milford still with the 3-0 lead. With 1 out and the base is empty, and now Pyers sends one on the ground to shortstop. Waiting for it is Parker. Fires to first to get the out. A couple of ground ball outs to start this bottom of the 6th inning. And that leaves it up to Matt Swanson. 0 for 2 in the game, struck out twice. Both of those at-bats coming against the starting pitcher, Jonathan Rice. And all in all, Jonathan Rice pitching very well in the game. Went 5 innings. He allowed 3 runs on 5 hits, walked 1, and struck out 9. At times he was unhittable. But Milford, especially those top 4 spots in the batting order, finding a way to get it done in key moments. The RBI single from Nickerson in the first. He came back with a 2-run double in the 3rd inning. So Nickerson really coming through in the clutch out of the cleanup spot in this game, driving in all 3 runs. Meanwhile, Swanson trying to extend this bottom of the 6th inning. Takes a pitch high. Count now at 3-1. So Rice, who earned a victory against Milford back in April, will not be able to do the same here tonight. As this ball is popped up behind second base, bobbled by Colin Shagru, and he cannot hold on. He had it momentarily in the glove, but it drops to the turf. An E4. And that will allow the inning to continue for Matt Antonio. Also 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. And it looks like now Milford will send a pinch runner out to replace Swanson at first base. Dan Corsini takes over at first. Accepts some signs from Coach Dion across the way before stepping out to a lead. And Antonio laying off the first pitch high for ball 1. Milford crowd lively, looking for a little bit of insurance here in the 6th inning. Interesting to see if Coach Dion sends Andrew Fauerbach back out for the 7th. One ball, 1 strike count now on Antonio. Now fastball misses away. Crisp evening here in Milford. The fans staying in place, enjoying a well-played game on both sides. Hopedale headed towards the playoffs. Milford is not, but on this night, none of that matters. These teams locked up in a good rivalry here on senior night. On the 3-1 pitch, Antonio, a big swing and a miss. So now a full count. This will give Corsini a chance to get started at first. He goes as the pitch is in at the knees for a called strike 3. The third strikeout of the game for Antonio. And it ends up going as a scoreless inning of relief for Chris Brunt. He gathers the 10th strikeout for Hopedale pitching tonight. So we will now head to the 7th inning. Andrew Fauerbach heads back out to the pitcher's mound looking to finish off the complete game effort. We'll see if he can get it done when we come back next here on Milford TV. Andrew Fauerbach has navigated his way through 6 scoreless innings tonight. He's scattered 3 hits. He's walked 3 and struck out a pair. At his most difficult inning, last inning in the 6th, allowing back-to-back hits. And then loaded the bases on a hit by pitch with 2 outs, but was able to get a pop-up to end the inning. He will face batters 9, 1, and 2 here in the 7th. And his first pitch in to Sean Ryan is a called strike 1. He's gotten Ryan on a pop out to second base and a ground out back to the pitcher's mound so far tonight. Now the pitch missing low. Milford did have activity warming in their bullpen last inning. The bullpen quiet at the present moment. It's a 1-1 pitch. That misses a little high. And now the 2-1 pitch. This is floated out into shallow right field. On the move is Naylor, and he hangs on for the out. A tumbling catch made out in right field for Sam Naylor. He robs Sean Ryan of a leadoff single. The Milford seniors having themselves a night here tonight. Everyone contributing to the effort, and Sam Naylor making an outstanding catch out in right field for out number 1. The base is empty now. As we go back to the leadoff spot, Chris Brunt, he sends one on the ground to shortstop. Waiting for it is Shaver, sends a low throw to first base, but it's picked by Fahey, and it's 2 up and 2 down here in the 7th inning. Hopedale down to their last out as Jack Biseglia now comes to the plate. He has grounded out to short, popped out to right, and popped out to first. Fauerbach staring in for the sign. Now comes to the plate and misses low and inside for ball 1. And now this ball popped up on the infield. In comes the first baseman, Fahey. He makes the catch for the out that ends the ball game. A complete game shutout for Andrew Fauerbach here on senior night. And what a victory for the Milford Scarlet Hawks in a season where a lot has not gone the way the Scarlet Hawks would have hoped. But here tonight, they're able to pull out a 3-0 victory over the Hopedale Blue Raiders. And plenty of heroes to go around on the night. The conversation has to start with Fauerbach, who spun a beauty here, a complete game shutout, a 3-hitter. A tremendous performance at the plate for Matt Nickerson, who drove in all 3 runs. Sam Naylor making a spectacular catch in the outfield here in the 7th inning. And all the way around, a great team win for the Scarlet Hawks, who improve to 5-13 overall on the season, but this win by far their best of the year. And a great effort here in front of a huge crowd at Fino Field on senior night. So congratulations to the Scarlet Hawks on the victory. They will have one final game here at Fino Field to close out the home portion of their schedule coming up on May 29th against King Philip before they finish up the regular season on the road against North Attleboro. But they will certainly take some time to enjoy this victory. And in the meantime, meantime, a big thank you to our Milford TV crew on hand for the game tonight, our director for the game, John Giacomuzzi, and our camera operator, Malcolm Zale. And I am Tim Coet. That final score, one final time, Milford defeats Hopedale by a final score of 3-0. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.